Hi guys, welcome to the Savvy Money Show with me, your host Sean. We are outside, so I do apologise in advance for the background noise. I'll try and keep it as quiet as possible. And today we're talking about two things. The second thing we'll be talking about will be the EV car industry and is a bubble forming, is there a shift, and we'll be going through some trends. The first thing is the Tesla stock split and how we could make out of it. Well, firstly I'll go to Yahoo Finance, who of course will be outdated. You can see here there was an 8% run up. You can see that there from yesterday, and but to tell the truth, that run up was just more like a correction. The run up was after news, but it was more like a correction after a sell-off. Now, to tell the truth, I think they would have been better off doing a 10-for-1 stock split, but I said, if you remember, I said about 8 weeks ago that they should be doing a stock split. Why? Because Elon loves retail investors. He's come out and said that a long time ago. Makes it more accessible. Yes, you have fractional shares, but people would rather own one share. Look at Amazon. You will have a lot more people going into Amazon if they did a 10-for-1 stock split or a 20-for-1 stock split. They haven't done a stock split for ages. Last time was 12-for-1, and you can't tell me that people wouldn't love to jump all over that if it was affordable. Now, you have to look at the evidence, and as I said before the Apple one, basically, even though the value hasn't changed, these tend to run up about 30% after the split, purely because it's more affordable. People want to get in on it, people who couldn't afford it before. I actually picked up a portion of a share at $13.90 just before they announced it. I picked up a share of two in the 1400 mark. Around about here, I think, is an okay price to pick it up, because I do think it will run up once it splits, and I do think it's worth going into. Now, what did I give as the reasons against the stock split? There was only one. It was his battle with Jeff Bezos. Battling out for who would be the most expensive one. Now that he's done the stock split, he also has bragging rights in the fact that if he runs up again and gets it close to 1,000 or 1,500 again, he simply has to say to him, yeah, but I've been splitting my stock. What have you been doing? You haven't split your stock because you wanted to keep it as high as possible. And don't forget to hit that lovely like button, almost as lovely as me. Helps with the YouTube algorithm and getting the video out to more people. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Become part of the Savvy Money Show family. We give each other hints and tips and updates about stocks and shares we talk about on the show. As well as that, you can ask me to look into any share you want, and I don't charge a Discord fee or ask for a Patreon. All I do ask is for you to comment in the box below and hit the like button. Even if you disagree with me, especially if you disagree with me, I like a debate. And if I do something wrong, I want you to call me on it so I can improve the channel. And why not check out the links in the description below? There's lots of others. I've used each one of them myself. I wouldn't give you links if I haven't checked them out myself. If you're looking for a free trading platform which should trade your stocks and shares, you know, you can get a free share worth up to £200 for signing up and depositing a small amount. A free trade only requires a £1 deposit. The others require £100 or dollars, depending on which one you go for. Stake has over 3,500 US stocks on their books, which is the biggest one outside of the US. Whereas Trading 212 is one of the best and easiest platforms to use. But as I said, I use all three. Anyway, on with the show. Now, I think personally, sorry about this. I think personally, anything below 114 is a scoop up. Should be scooping up these shares. However, that's a decision you've got to make. But how would a 5-for-1 stock split work? Basically, let's say it ran up to 115. It only has to run up to 115 by August the 21st, because that's the record date. Doesn't matter if it goes up to 2000, if it goes up to 2000 the day after, or if it drops to 1000 the day after. If it goes up to 1500 by the August the 21st, then you'll receive 5 shares for every share you own, and they will be worth $300. That's making it simple, which I tried to do because I just had a public education. Now, as I say, I'm just an idiot on the internet. Now, I'm glad I managed to get some before all this news come out. I'm glad he's done it. Now, if only he takes the rest of my advice, buys a lithium and nickel mine, and we will be set. As I said, it doesn't change the value of your shares, but what it does is people will see it as cheaper. How many people say nowadays, I wish I got in the Tesla at $200, $300? People won't be looking at the market cap. We've seen it before. Lots of people don't look. We see it with Apple. They don't seem to care. They will see Tesla suddenly on at $300 or $280, and they will say, that's cheap, I want to buy that. And some of these don't want to go into fractional shares, they want a whole share. And you know, you may get people who aren't as clued up to the market as us. You know, I mean, someone came up to me one day who isn't into shares, but he does buy shares every now and then. You know, not much, but he does dabble. And he says to me, why would you go into Apple? Look, there hasn't been much movement in the past decade. It was $200, $300 all these years ago, it still is. I said, and the dividend isn't much better than any other company. I said, yes, but look at the stock splits. That's what has given you the growth. And see, some of these people don't realise that. They just go away, carry on with their life, and they don't look into these things. And that's what will do it. Now, as I said, the record date will be on the 21st of August. The actual stock split date will be on 28th of August, which coincidentally is the same day as Apple's. So expect a lot of buying activity on that day for both stocks, and expect a lot of selling of other stocks to fund it. Now we go on to the EV sector. Now I don't know how many of you remember 2018. Basically the MJ sector, anything with MJ in, word MJ, it kind of went, it skyrocketed. Everyone was saying it was going to be legalised. Kind of what happened around April time. Everyone was saying it was all going to be legalised, and everyone was going into Aurora and Canopy and all this. And I do think eventually it will be legalised, because they spend so much money enforcing it, and they can bring in so many taxes for it. And I do think now would be a good opportunity to pick up some cheap MJ stocks. But at that time they went up so high, and people who are using the excuse now that, oh, they were this price a couple of years ago, living in cuckoo land, because they were hyper-inflated back then. Now they have come back down to earth to fair value, and the same thing, EV stocks are doing the same thing. Anything with EV in, they're jumping up. They're highly volatile, they're jumping up, and then they're coming back down to earth. Then they're jumping up again as soon as some more good PR goes in, and coming back down. And it's only the ones that have some substance to them, such as Tesla, which have had the biggest jump up, obviously, and the of course you've got Neo. You've got the ones which don't have substance to them, in my opinion, such as Nkla, but people think that in the future they will do, and that's fine. If you make your money, fine, good luck to you. And a number of other stocks, I could mention like FUV, and there's so many now. To tell the truth, you'd think there were so many that some of the ones that are highly priced would not be running up. They'd be cutting into price target, because people would be pulling out of them to fund the others and spreading the money around, hedging the bets. Now, bear in mind that in 2018 all these MJ stocks did come crashing to the ground, and I think the same thing will happen to the EV stocks as well. Look at what's happened to the tech stocks. Same thing is happening to the tech stocks. But do not panic with the tech stocks, because we have this on a monthly basis, where people come out of tech stocks, they're hoping, they have good news on a vaccine, and they're hoping a vaccine or a cure will come out, and then they go into the travel industry, the restaurant, retail industry. Now, we can ride this up. This time the news is on the Russia vaccine. You've got to remember, Russia, they haven't tracked anybody who's sick. Well, fair enough, you don't want to waste money on track and trace. You haven't, the UK haven't exactly been successful on that. They haven't tracked people who have been dying. Okay. But the thing that's an issue for me is that they haven't even passed phase 3 of the trials yet. And you've got to remember, their trials aren't as stringent as the ones in America or the UK. Yeah, I mean, there are some drugs that have approval in the UK and Europe that don't have approval in the US, and vice versa. Some that have approval in the US but don't have approval in the UK and Europe, because in both countries they have their own like methods and their own hoops you have to go through. In Russia, it's just a case of, it kind of reminds me of what happened with Gilead, where they hadn't gone through all the trials yet, and they had they did the final testing on the people in the hospital, and they said we'll give free doses to the government. Luckily, it worked out, but the reason it worked out is because in the US or in the UK, by the time a drug gets to phase 2 trials, phase 3 is more or less a given. It's very rarely that a drug falls at the phase 3 stage. Anyway, as I said before, if you're going to go into a casino, restaurant, retail stock, make sure it's one that you're not just going into for a quick buck, but one that you're looking to hold long term. For instance, as I said, if you're going into a casino stock, something like MGM, if you're going into a gambling stock, you know, you've got Penn. If you're going into any stock, then you can do your research, but still don't neglect the research in a rush. And I will, because it could come out in the next week or so there's something wrong with this vaccine. Yeah. And it also provides a buying opportunity for us on the tech stocks, on the drug stocks. This is why at the beginning I went into drug stocks that were under their intrinsic value without the vaccine or cure, because even if they don't get a vaccine or cure, I am still picking up a bargain. Anyway, that's all from me. Stay safe, stay savvy, stay investing. I'll see you later.